If you're a die-hard fan of The Last of Us, you're probably still reeling from what happened in Season 2. And let's be honest, ever since that jaw-dropping moment in Episode 2 where Joel, played by Pedro Pascal, was brutally killed by Abby, viewers have been asking one major question. Will Pedro Pascal return as Joel in Season 3? Well, here's a detailed breakdown of everything we know so far, and spoiler alert. It's emotional, final, and may not be what fans were hoping for. So let's rewind a bit. The Last of Us Season 2 mostly follows Ellie and Dina as they make their way through a very tense and dangerous Seattle. But things got especially heavy in Episode 6, when the series gave us a much-needed flashback. For fans missing Joel, this was a bittersweet gift. Pedro Pascal was back, just for this one episode. It gave us a deeper look at Joel and Ellie's complex relationship before he was murdered. We saw how Ellie found out Joel had killed all the Fireflies at the end of Season 1, and how angry and hurt she was by it. Their final talk was emotional and tense, showing that while Ellie might eventually forgive Joel, the wounds between them were still fresh. This flashback not only made fans feel even more crushed about Joel's death, but also gave us a heartfelt goodbye to the character. The real kicker, though? Episode 6 is being treated by the showrunners, cast, and even Pedro Pascal himself as his last episode on the show. That's right. According to several reports, including one from Variety, this flashback wasn't just a nostalgic moment for fans, but Pedro's official send-off. Behind-the-scenes footage released by Max, HBO's streaming platform, showed Pedro giving an emotional farewell speech to the cast and crew. He stood before everyone and said his goodbyes, clearly marking the end of his journey as Joel. Everyone involved in the show seems to agree, this was his final episode. Even Neil Druckmann, the series co-creator, spoke about filming Pascal's swan song, confirming the end of an era. The signs are all there. Even though Joel appeared again in Season 2 through flashbacks, the material for those flashbacks is pretty much all used up now. In the video game The Last of Us Part 2, Joel's story wraps up early on, and the rest of the game shifts focus to Abby and Ellie. That's exactly what the show is doing too. With the main flashbacks now shown on screen, the writers really don't have any major scenes left to bring Pascal's character back, unless they decide to invent new ones. But as of now, it looks like they don't plan on doing that. The story has moved on. Season 3 is expected to take a very different turn, and most of it will focus on Abby's story. She's the one who killed Joel, and the next season will show what's been happening with her since that moment. If the show follows the second half of The Last of Us Part 2 closely, we'll see things mostly from Abby's point of view. That leaves even less room for Joel. Remember, Abby only met Joel once, just before she killed him. So, flashbacks from her perspective wouldn't include him in any meaningful way. Now, some fans are still holding out hope. They wonder if maybe, just maybe, the show might surprise us with an original flashback that wasn't part of the game. Could Pascal return for a brief moment? Technically, it's not impossible. The show has already proven it isn't afraid to shake things up. Season 2 hasn't followed the exact timeline of the game. It's been jumping around and remixing moments in a way that still honors the story but keeps fans on their toes. So sure, a surprise flashback could happen, but realistically, the chances are slim. The creators seem committed to sticking close to the emotional beats of the game, and that means leaving Joel's story behind. Still, it's understandable why so many fans don't want to let go. Pedro Pascal's performance as Joel was one of the most beloved aspects of the series. He brought so much emotion, depth, and quiet strength to the role. Watching him say goodbye in that flashback hit hard. It reminded us of everything we loved about the character, and made his death sting even more. But that's also what makes his send-off so powerful. Ending his time on the show with such a raw, emotional scene feels like the right way to honor his legacy. So, will Pedro Pascal be in The Last of Us Season 3? All signs say no. Episode 6 of Season 2 was his final curtain call, and the story is moving forward without him. Abby will take center stage, and will likely be introduced to even more characters from the game's second half. Ellie's path of revenge is far from over, and the show will focus on where that leads her. Meanwhile, Joel's part of the story seems complete, for now and maybe forever. However, in a world like The Last of Us where emotions run high and storytelling is king, you never know. Maybe one day down the line we'll get one last glimpse of Joel. Until then, fans will have to make peace with saying goodbye to Pedro Pascal's unforgettable portrayal of one of television's most iconic characters. It's tough to say goodbye, but it's also a reminder of what made The Last of Us so special in the first place. It's not just about click-worthy moments or shocking deaths. It's about love, loss, and how people try to move forward even after everything's been taken from them. Joel may be gone, but his story lives on, especially in the choices Ellie makes and the person she becomes.